Here you can see an account worth over $100,000 on Invincible guarding the globe, and it is held by the #1 ranked player, a player that you have no doubt seen permanently stuck in first place on almost all the leaderboards in game. And throughout this video, we'll show you just how epic his entire journey has been. And today, for the very first time, you'll see how a whale spender compares to that of a free-to-play player like myself. We will look at rosters, case files, and exactly what it's like to dominate absolutely everyone like Thrag. Plus, we have the #1 ranked player in an exclusive interview at the very end of the video, and so much more. You do not want to miss any of this. And it'll all start with a quick overview of my entirely free-to-play account, where I've spent over 2 years building a team without spending any money. And if you saw my 832 day journey video, you'll know exactly how that's gone, so I'll keep it quick. Before we delve in, I boldly reached out to the #1 ranked player in the entire game, EdwardKratos. This is a person who has put over a wild 6 figures into his account, and if you stay until the end, you will see exactly how much he has spent on the game. And I have him here, teaming up with me for a deep dive insight into his account. This has never been captured before, so if you are new and you're not subscribed, subscribe right now and leave a like for more content featuring the #1 player in the whole game. Let's start with the most insane and anticipated aspect of any account, the roster. Here are 2 full rosters, which have been built completely differently, and it's sat right in front of us right now. Over on the left, you have my free account, where I have 25 omnipotent characters built, and I have a heavy focus on Worlds Beyond. Aside from the odd criminal Doc Seismic, which is carrying my highest powered character, and an ever-growing amount of Earth's Defenders ever since Tech Jacket hit the shops, a good amount are close to the max rank Omnipotent Plus gives, and we are slowly building every single character in the game to Omnipotent 17 stars, so they'll be sat at level 1000 when I need them. If we move over to EdwardKratos' account, on the right, you can see he has every single character built, and not just to a measly level, he's built them all the way up, even the newest release of Volcanica, which I also have a quick 7-minute breakdown on that character, which I last uploaded. He has built her to over level 1400. Insane! He has over 64 omnipotent characters built, and he even has multiple copies of some, just like the Maulers at over level 2000. And he even has a Thrag at nearly level 4000. And sat at the top of that throne is his famous Omni-Man at over level 5000. Jumping back to my side of things, I decided to go crazy and build up Doc Seismic as much as I could, because you gotta show love to the bald Donnies.
What are you talking to me?
He has some broken skills like his Earthquake, which has crazy output damage. And on average, he will do anywhere between 600,000 to 2 million damage in one match alone. I wonder what Edward is putting up. Additionally, I have a decently leveled up Invincible and Anissa. And if you've seen my top 5 best heroes, you'll know exactly why I have her on my team. Soon I will phase out the OG Invincible for Blue Mark, as he is nearly 10 times better. On the flip side, Edward's main team is his Omni-Man, Thrag, Invincibles, and Craig. You can see here that his Omni-Man is sat over level 5000. This is the highest leveled character in the entire game, and he almost sits collectively at 100 trillion power level for his entire roster. That's insane. Followed by Thrag, who we all know is the GOAT, and at nearly level 4000, he is borderline unstoppable. Many of his characters that he's built have seen thousands and thousands of dollars poured into them. And the hilarious thing he's done is how he's treated Lucan, who's possibly up there with some of the worst heroes in the game. He's kept him at a disgusting level 300, right at the bottom, out of sight from his nice roster. Now, the roster is one thing, but having the case files fully complete is a feat that not many can say they've achieved. If you look over towards the free-to-play side, here you can see an average amount of case files that are completed here. I've been able to complete, I think, now 8. base files. There are no hardcore files complete yet. One of the stages I am working on is getting every single character to at least omnipotent 17 stars, in order so I can complete their base, at least if they're epic characters, versions of their case files. Now, if we were to peer into the future on Edward's account, you can see a huge gap between a free-to-play player's account and their progress compared to the #1 spender and player in the game. Of course, you would expect a 6-figure spender to have more than myself, but it's still insane and crazy to see, seeing how almost his entire roster has been able to complete their case files. But what's even wilder is the fact that you, yes you, are not subscribed yet. Hit that sub button. I know you're lingering around, pal. Speeding over to the Multiverse Arena. This is where all levels compete against each other, from free to play to whales and even occasional dabblers in gem bundles. Here you see real raw results, and you will see some of the most insane teams from the whales who own the Invincible League here. Starting with my side of the things, I have now made it to the Invincible League. I have been slowly working my way there over this past week. It has been a long journey, and I'm glad to be here, hopefully for a long time. One thing to note is that when you do get to the Elite 2 League, anything onwards, it does get a lot harder to get promoted, as more and more people are pushing the trophy count to 30, maybe 40, 50,000, and the rewards at Elite 2 are already fairly decent too if you just want to stay there. The restricted arena is also a fun one, but those battles are a little bit fairer, considering they are testing level caps here and there, which forces you to think and try to counter meta teams and so much more. Diving headfirst into the one and only EdwardKratos' Multiverse Arena, we can see his main team is comprised of Omni-Man, then Thrag, Invincible, Blue Mark, and the GOAT of all support characters, General Craig. This team's total power level sits near 100 trillion. A whopping 83 trillion is a level that many won't even get to, so being able to see this leaves me in awe with just how unfathomable this even is. Just check his trophy count too, it's wild. And no, this guy is not an unemployed trust fund kid, he's an extremely generous and kind, hard-working individual who we are even fortunate enough to get this special collaboration with. His rank perfectly reflects the amount of investment and time he has put into the game. Mine, however, reflects something else, from squeezing every bit of value out of positioning, skill maxing, totem enhancing, and knowing exactly how to intentionally counter teams instead of just brute forcing through whatever team is in my way. Coming up to a close on the accounts here, we have one final section to cover, which is Cecil's nightmare progression. Considering there's no actual way to fight each other like in Clash Royale, we will have to do the next best thing. We will show exactly how far both of us have pushed on the hardest levels in our nightmares. If you cast your eyes over to the free-to-play side again, you'll be able to see that on the standard 60 round nightmare, that I generally end up maxing out at around wave 53. And that even with my team, which is fairly leveled, it can't push past that anymore. This also happens usually on the 30 wave faction specific nightmares, where I can get anywhere between 23 and 27 on those rounds. Before the update for additional levels was given onto the nightmares, I was able to max out the 40 or the 50 rounds, but now we have a brand new challenge to aim for. Jumping to the whale side of things, here we can see no struggle whatsoever, and that he just absolutely decimates each round on any nightmare, with barely any effort. This is what you can expect when you are the top dog of the game. No one else even comes close to his level here, or really in any other department too, even on a brand new character nightmare. Like Volcanica, he was right at the top of the leaderboard. This is one of the most impressive feats, potentially on the same level as having almost 99% of your case files complete. However, something which is even more impressive will be this exclusive interview with the best player in the game, EdwardKratos. We are fortunate enough to have him here with us today, and we have a variety of burning rapid fire questions that not only free-to-play players may have, but everyone else in the game too. So I'm very glad he can be here with us today. Also, a quick note, this interview will be the longest part of the video, so I do recommend, if you don't have lots of time, to put it on ×2 speed, and it will only take over 15 minutes, and you'll get to learn everything from how much he's put into the game, to why he does what he does, has he spent this money on any other games, and so much more. So I think we should just, kick it off from the start. The main question that I wanted to open it with is, how did you first get into this game?
Oh, man.
It's a big question.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of mobile games. But my dad actually asked me to join Raid to get to like level 50 for him.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I did that, and then I started to, I guess, let the addiction take over. I
That's
ended up
fair.
spending, yeah, I spent so much money on Raid. It was like 40 grand. And I was terrible. Like you feel like if you spend all that money, you should be at least decent. I
Yeah.
was so bad at the game.
So even after
So I got
40 grand.
frustrated. Yeah, it was terrible.
So was that one of the first
too
ones you
much.
did in terms of
Yeah, I
spending lots
played
of money on a
Monopoly
game?
Go too, but Monopoly Go was a terrible choice too.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know. Being a recovering addict, my addiction manifested through
Wow.
Monopoly Go, and I should have known better with Raid, but no,
Yeah.
I obviously didn't learn. And as everybody could kind of see here, I'm still struggling a little bit.
Maybe.
you know,
Hopefully not for the worst.
yeah.
Ha-
But yeah, I did like a clan versus clan, and I was like, this game sucks, man. So I went on to the Play Store, and
Mhm.
I was just looking for anything, and I liked Invincible, so I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a game. Yeah, I guess so.
Did you ever get around to playing like Pokemon Go when that came out like almost what 10 years ago now?
I think I played it for a little bit, but when I was using, nothing else really mattered.
Yeah.
And that was around that time, so I don't think I really played any games up until I stopped using, to be honest with you.
That's fair enough. And it's good you're here like now with us. I'm guessing you're doing a lot better.
With that part, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
got 5 years clean back in March.
Hell yeah,
March
bro.
27th.
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit better.
That's really good to hear,
Having
man.
kids helped.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I could
Oh, I
imagine.
appreciate
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Even on my side of the pond, all my family back in Scotland, they're all having kids. Not with each other, because that's incestuous with other people.
Yeah.
Um, but that's fair enough.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
get to spend a lot of time with your family then? Doing all the
Oh
plumbing
yeah.
when you come back. That's good.
Yeah. I'm usually, I don't know, I get at least nights off, but I am on call a lot. So, but my wife's used to it at this point.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Because normally as well,
Oh yeah.
when I'm looking at like the leaderboards for the Multiverse Arena, I always see you at the top, and you always have like at least 100,000, 150,000. It's pretty insane. Do you get more points like for each battle you do, or is it 200 points you get for like each game?
No, if I beat Nintendank, I get like 2200, I think.
Damn. Oh, okay. So that's why
Yeah,
yours is
most of
always so
them.
high.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most of them are over 1,000, I think.
Okay.
And really, I just kind of run through. I don't attack my alliance except for him. I just
Understandable. Good man.
it's too hard to pass up on. When I need it, but everyone else is kind of safe at the moment.
So then that could bring us to another good question. So I'm guessing you have somewhat of like a rival in the game. Is it Danks, you were saying?
No, it's actually
Good
he's a
little
friend
friendly
of mine,
competition.
but he's yeah, he's like the closest, I guess, and number 3 now, Destroyer of Will.
Wow.
He's also a very good friend of mine.
Is he in a similar boat? Does he pump in a lot of money too, or is he just taking it
Yeah,
easy?
he does. I'm pretty sure he's about to hit 10 trillion.
That is an impressive goal.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy. And then once you hit 10, it seems like you just skyrocket after that,
Yeah, it's completely exponential. You're nearly at 100 trillion, I believe, right? For your total.
Yeah, I should be there soon.
That's going to be a crazy achievement when you get to 100 trillion, man.
Oh yeah, it's because I'm working on Thrag.
Yeah, he was at
But
what, nearly 4,000, like 3,800 something.
he's 4,000 now. I almost got him to 700 stars.
Damn.
I'll
So
probably stop at 1,000.
yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Do you reckon
I
you'll
was
ever
supposed to stop
actually?
Omni Man.
Do you reckon you'll ever actually max out level-wise a character when you get them to like 1,000 stars, or will that be
No,
too much?
it's way too much. Unless they do something different with XP, which they should.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how people are playing this game and not spending money
that's a
because
good point.
it's hard. That XP is ridiculous. Like,
That could bring us
and
to another point
even
as
like
well.
the shops and all that, it's like they need to update that stuff for sure.
100%.
You know.
So then, I think that can bring us to, I think, a pretty good question that a lot of people would want to know. Considering that you're sitting at the top, you're the dominant guy, you're a legend. Everyone knows who you are, essentially. They open the leaderboard, they see you at the top, and, they aspire to be you, right? What do you think the developers could do better for standard players or even free-to-play players? You were given some ideas about how they could, like, maybe think about changing the XP. What ideas would you put
I
forward?
think that's one of the bigger ones. This game is not free to play friendly. I was watching your video, and
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man, I can't. I'm not patient enough, I mean, at this point, like ops aren't even worth running. I do it just I guess to have something to check, but I can't imagine trying to get anywhere close to where I'm at, without spending money.
yeah.
And I know that that's part of this, but there should be other ways to make this more fun if you're not spending money, you
Mm.
know?
Do you think they should maybe revamp the XP system after like a certain level? Like if you look at gear, I think you end up using these other pieces of equipment, like that pink kind of chip thing, to level up after I believe 10 or 12 for like omnipotent like gear. Do you think they should maybe
Oh yeah.
think about something like that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not the best of thinking of these systems.
It's all good.
To be honest,
It's
like
off the dome.
I feel like they should do more to make it available. Like the shop sells what 6K red XP,
Yeah, it's a very small
and
amount.
when's the last time you needed 6K?
Yeah, it's
It
it's normally a
doesn't.
couple 100,000 at the least.
Yeah, like make it 100,000, make that the big one, or something. It doesn't make sense to me. And then they make you buy it. They're like, "Oh, this is one of your daily goals." You're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay," Let me just add that to this.
looking at your Omni-Man, what's the type of XP you're looking at just to level him up like one level? Will that be, hundreds of
I don't know.
millions, a billion?
Am I able to open this? It doesn't pause, right?
Hope not.
Like, okay, I didn't know if I could open my game. So to go up right now, one level is 15 million
Damn.
XP and 433 million blue.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something
Yeah,
like 60 million blue. Nearly a half a billion.
yeah, and how are you supposed to get that without spending money?
Yeah, that's
Or
insane.
even ops, like how many ops would that be?
I,
Even with everything I have in my kit for Maulers, I'm still only getting like 10 million per run.
that's still pretty impressive. Is that on
Yeah, it's still
training game?
43 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's with Apple, and I got all my Maulers are over level 2000.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy to have the Apple too. That gives you like an extra what 5% in terms of like levels on your waves or something.
Ooh, I don't know. I obsessed on that thing too. Right now I'm getting an extra 15% for 30
Nice.
plus.
Because I
But
get like 2.5 mil or maybe 3.
yeah, that was expensive to get that Apple up to 30 during that Wish event.
I could imagine. Do you feel like spending has made the game less fun or more fun?
Oh, it's way more fun. I would be so
Nice.
frustrated. Like I said, I was watching your video and I was like, man, like the patience you have to not spend. I think my first day I dropped $100 on this, or maybe even two.
Yeah.
Like that red Invincible popped up and then a robot. And I was like, oh, there we go. That's easy. It's fast. And then I think I even bought Battle Beast same day, like an epic or something popped up.
Yeah. I did begin to build
You
a lot
know,
of Battle Beast. I thought he was going to be insane considering, how goated he is in the comics and putting up numbers against Thrag.
yeah, that's actually he's my favorite character comic wise. It's kind of disappointing that he's not that cool in the game.
Yeah, sadly. That's actually like a pretty good like tangent because I was going to ask you, what is your favorite hero in the entire game, regardless of meta?
My favorite hero?
Hmm.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I've always liked Omni Man. I
Yeah,
mean, that
me.
episode is what got me hooked. Because you're like, oh, this show's okay, and then he goes to the GDA headquarters, and you're like, oh man,
Yep, then he
and you
starts
end
going
up binging the
crazy.
whole show. Yeah, I'm like, all right,
It was a good
I
little
think I could watch
flip they
this.
did at the end of that episode.
Oh yeah, because you always do wonder. You're like, I wonder what happens if the strong guy, flips on the team. It's like
Exactly.
Superman killing the Justice League. You're like, oh
Yeah.
okay, yeah, So it was kind of a cool twist. Um, Comic wise, I kind of stopped liking him around where the show is.
Yeah, it
Once
gets
he once he did the once he changes the mustache up, that's when I was like, yeah, like
he
all right.
starts to lose a bit of his aura doing all that.
Yeah. Now I was like, all right. Then Battle Beast just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's my guy.
Also, what keeps you playing this specific game over other gacha games, like Raid that you mentioned and whatnot?
So right now, this is the only game that I play. I got one of my coworkers wants me to try that Ants game, but
Ants game.
yeah, there's like Ants Kingdom or something. But I'm pretty sure
Oh.
my wife will cut me if I download another game. So I'm gonna stick to this one.
That's a
That's just
that's a solid way to seal a divorce, like pretty quickly.
yeah, exactly.
In the sewage
Oh,
part of
go
your
ahead.
job, are you like How does that work? What does that like entail?
Well, at work, I
Uh-huh.
don't really do much physical labor anymore now that I'm mainly in sales. I run some
Nice.
service, but I got crews that follow me around. Really, that's what's keeping me playing this game so much.
Huh.
There are days where I have a shovel in my hand, but for
Nice.
the most part, I've found this company that lets me kind of just run around and sell stuff and run service, which is what I've always wanted to do. You know,
That sounds pretty good.
it's nice. I can be done by like noon every day and be at home, but I'm usually getting home like 3 or 4 because I'm helping and
Yeah,
run around checking on stuff. But I got real lucky. I'm blessed to have this job,
100%.
and my skill set helps a lot too. It's not for everybody, but I would say everyone should try it.
I did
You know,
try do
because
some sales when I was at uni. I was actually working in this like a marketing like firm, and we were always phoning to America. So I was on the phone all the time. In the UK, I was working from like 3 p.m. to like 10 p.m. So some odd times in order just to
oh yeah,
catch you guys at a good time.
yeah,
And did you say you were from
dealing with those.
Texas?
I'm in Texas right now, in a small town actually.
I remember one
So
time we had one call that came through, and he was from Texas, but it was a pretty strong accent, like really strong.
yeah,
I like, like what's the word? Like instinctually just like mimic the accent, and then I had to keep it up for the whole call. And there was some words I couldn't say, and he clocked it by the end, and it ended with a whole whole load of abuse down the phone. I had to hang up on it. I couldn't
oh,
close the sale. So
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people around here that'll get you with that twang. You end
yeah.
up talking like them. Yeah. I grew up in Colorado, so
Oh, nice.
they could tell I'm not from here, and I hear it a lot. But
Mm,
you know, um, it's kind of fun being somewhere where people have accents sometimes,
yeah.
especially country. Makes you kind of feel like you're safe almost. They got that sweet little accent. You're like, okay, all right, this
It
is all
is a
right.
nice accent.
Yeah,
My next one I have here is what is next for your account, and do you have any long-term goals?
Well, right now I'm working on finishing case files. I'm trying to get every elite to 78 stars and every rare to 38. And then I got to level them up. It's a pain, but I'm actually getting close.
So 78
I
stars,
don't,
is that like 2,200? Is that like the max you need?
well, it's 2220 because I don't like even numbers.
Yeah,
And I don't like it to end on 39 for some reason.
it is a horrible
So,
number to end on. It needs to be good.
yeah, I don't know why it bothers me. And then I'm like, okay, I have to change this now, you know.
Speaking of like modes and game modes and whatnot, you surely heard some talk about the big game mode, something coming in the next few months or up to a year or whatnot. What do you think they have in store?
I was hoping it's something to do with like boss fights or something for some extra rewards here.
Hmm.
Maybe something where your alliance can work together or because there's not a lot of actual like strategy in this game. It's kind of just build your people up and I mean maybe artifacts and stuff, but
Yeah,
it would be nice to have some kind of aspect where like warfare's cool, because you get to work with your alliance and build and it makes you want to widen so you're not the one letting your team down. But
yeah,
it would
that's
be
true.
nice to do something else where you work together
I agree.
collectively and try to get something done with. I mean, the rewards for warfare I think are pretty good if you buy totem pass, which if you're not free to play I think that's one of the ones you should be buying
Yeah, I
you
would
know
definitely agree on that. I actually had it glitch out the other week where I wasn't given my totem rewards after the week ended, so I had to contact staff, and luckily, I got it done within like a couple days. So I've now been able to get
Oh,
Thrag's totem as a free-to-play player.
nice.
I
You
was
know,
thinking of that the
set
other
something
other
up.
day. We do have that new
Yeah,
friends feature, and it's pretty
yeah.
nice. It's not bad, but I think like in Pokemon Go, where you can gift a friend, a couple Pokeballs or whatever it may be. I think maybe gifting someone a spare copy of a character, or maybe a max of 50 gems or 100. I don't know, because then maybe they could like glitch that out. So I'm not sure about the gems, but maybe characters. I think that would be a good idea.
I played this One Piece game where I don't know when I was in that little mode of I don't want to play this one anymore. Where you have like a pirate clan and you could go in there and you could buy like a $10 or $100 pack and then it splits it off and like 20 people could claim it or something. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh wow, yeah, that actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you know, something like that, because there is a lot of people that will never spend $1 on this game, you know. And I feel like you shouldn't be punished
Yeah,
because
100%.
there's people that spend so much. Like it, I hate those games where you're like, okay, you have to spend money or you can't play. I mean, this one you could grind. It looks like a nightmare, to be honest with you, but you
Yeah.
can do it. I mean, you're proof of that, you know.
It's taken
But
a long time, you know.
yeah, that's the thing. But also where you're at now, I think I was at in like 3 months, you know, and that's the spending. And
That's insane.
oh, it's yeah, yeah, you know. And is it fair? No, you know, because some people can't, you know, and I get
Of
that.
course. But
But it would
at
be
the
nice
same,
to give back a little bit.
yeah, but like with the same idea in mind, you also are spending like, over six figures. So I think you should be way,
Yeah,
way ahead.
well, that's that. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. I wasn't trying to bring it down there. I'm sorry, but
Nah, it's all
that's
good.
the I've dumped a ridiculous amount of money into this.
Also, I'm curious, with all the events that this game's had, what's the most that you can recall that you spent on a single event?
I want to say last year at Christmas on that Wish event that kept refreshing. I want to say I dropped like 5 grand on that, and then Thrag, I think I dropped like two.
Ooh.
Those are the two big ones. But that Christmas one no, it was Black Friday. That's what it was, where they kept dropping those, and that's when they first started that $100 to $200 pack thing.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like it was my responsibility, being in the position I'm in, one of those big packs, so they kept doing it,
You
you
gotta
know.
see if it's worth it.
Well, I wanted it, you know. That was one thing that I thought, because there are times where you're buying something and you're like, oh man, I wish I could buy this 10 times, you know,
Yeah.
and save myself the hassle. Then they drop this $200 pack, and you're like, okay, there's 10 times right there,
It wouldn't surprise
you
me
know.
with Ubisoft if they make that a possibility. Maybe there's a £1,000 pack or $1,000, and
Oh yeah,
that could be crazy.
yeah. I hope not, because I'm gonna end up having to buy it for
Y-
some reason.
Yeah, they know they've
Here's a
got
hundred
you.
stars for 100 stars for Thrag for only $1,000. Like, why can't I buy it twice?
Yeah, that would be a
You know,
crazy
like,
deal.
oh man. Well, and what's crazy is if you buy those $200 packs like during the day, like during the night, sometimes they refresh.
I've seen that
So
actually.
you end up, you're like, okay, how are they going to get me again tonight?
Hmm.
You know, I spent $300 on 18 Thrags today. It's crazy. It's
Damn.
popped up twice. Oh no, I don't know. A lot of people ask me, like, with my spending and stuff, like, is everything okay? You know,
Is that, yeah, I can imagine maybe in
you
real
know,
life they would ask that.
yeah. So I mean, it is, you know, and there is times where I'm like, I should let this one ride, but I don't know. Like I said, I got some addiction problems, you know, but I do make sure everything's okay first, family wise, bill wise, you know.
Yeah. Well, that
My
that's the
my
responsible thing.
oh yeah, my wife's nails come before Invincible,
I bet she's
you know.
glad about that.
Oh yeah, you know.
So I can
But
imagine that there's probably a lot of people in the community who are curious if you track your spending, or did you stop counting it at one point?
no, I asked support once how much I've spent, because I asked Raid. That's how I know I spent 40 grand. I
Hmm.
sent them a message. I was like, hey, how much have I spent? And I was like 38.5. I was like, all right, I could drop 1,500 more,
Damn,
make it even.
may as well.
You know, yeah, you have to at that point. You
You
know,
you didn't come that far to go that far.
yeah, right. So I asked support here, and they were like, oh, just go back through. And I was like, oh, I'm not mathing
Yeah, and count it
to
yourself.
tell on myself. Yeah, you know, like if my wife asks, I've spent about $40 on this game. You
Hmm.
know, no, I'm just kidding. She sees every, but it would be nice if they would just tell you. You know, like, oh, you've spent this much. So, because I mean, that's the most asked question I get. How much have you spent? I
Yeah,
honestly, I don't know.
I could
It's
imagine.
got to be over 100 grand. But
Because we were actually
oh,
like going over that in our chat like a little bit, and I think we came to the conclusion that it might be close to £150,000 or dollars, sorry,
yeah, yeah, it's possible.
which is just
You know,
insane.
yeah, it's a little bit crazy when you put the number out there in front of like your face. You're like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah,
But
even imagining it or trying to say it, for some it's wild. It's crazy. It's an
yeah, it is.
achievement.
It's
It's a nice milestone, and I don't know if many are gonna beat that, but that's just it's crazy.
yeah, it's
Good crazy specifically.
yeah, it's a little wild. Could have had a Bentley instead. I got a 1100 star Omni Man.
Exactly. And who else has got that?
Can't really. Yeah, right. Well, it's weird because like I've never been like #1 in the world at anything.
Hmm.
You know, it's kind of a weird feeling. You know.
I can
And
imagine.
really stuff like talking to people. That's why I try to be encouraging and stuff online, because I'm like, man, it would really suck to be in a position like this, or to talk to somebody that's in this position and they're like rude.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I could see
I feel
that.
like that would be a turn off for the game. And really, I hope everybody has fun with this, and I hope somebody beats me. I really do.
I kind of do as well,
Yeah.
just to see some more rivalries going on here, because
Oh yeah,
that would be insane. Because
but the thing, I have reserves just in case, because like Dank will move up
hmm.
and I'll be like, oh no. So I got like reserves. I got at least 50 stars right now for Omni-Man, just sitting there like
So you're
make a move.
prepped, you're ready.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to be, I guess. I mean, anything could happen. And plus, some of these accounts that are popping up, I know a lot of them are probably people cheating, but there's some people moving up quick, and it's crazy. Like, it took me so long to get to a trillion, and now there's 18 people. There's 18
Wow.
people with over a trillion collectively.
Yeah.
And it was just I was trying to hit it before Thanksgiving of last year. I remember
Hmm.
I was like, okay, so November is when I hit it, and there's
Wow.
already, like I said, that many people popping up. It's insane,
And you were the
you know.
first to get a trillion.
Oh yeah, I was gunning for it.
So how close are your like your allies in your alliance?
So the number two and number three, they're in my alliance. Nintendo and Destroyer of Will.
Hmm.
I don't know exactly how to say this. I call him X, but number
Yeah.
13, Zadrian.
Uh-huh.
I hope he doesn't hate me for this, but X number 13,
Okay.
and then J Windchill 17. Now they've helped more than anything, because so I don't run ops. I really didn't before I joined this alliance,
Hmm.
and I was getting made fun of online, because I'm like, hey, I don't know how to play this game, and they're like, this guy's got a trillion power, doesn't know how to play. I'm like, yeah, I still kind of don't. Like, I lean on them a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, my way is, oh, you beat me, let me throw a bunch of money at this character until you can't. But the tactics the tactics that these guys come up with is crazy. And like Swanky helped a lot too with the maulers.
Yeah.
you know I wouldn't be as far as I am without him, because
S-
that's like my go-to for events now. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna throw this team at them, and it's actually made the spending a little bit better,
I could
because you
see
get
that.
better rewards.
Yeah.
So actually, I rely on them a lot. And like I said, people like Why Not Canada, he helps a lot. His alliance, which was Mustard, now I think it's Belt to Ass. But
You've got a
he's
solid group there.
oh yeah, and he's got a Discord server that really helps a lot.
Nice.
I probably mess around a little bit too much in there for everybody, but I don't know. I try to throw some laughter and positivity into people's days.
That's good to hear.
But they're serious. Like, these guys really they work hard to get somewhere in this game. And
And
I appreciate it.
and especially to hold like the number one position across like alliances of two. Like they've got the brains, you've got a lot of the brawn. Like it's a perfect combo.
Oh yeah.
Briefly as well, with like the multiverse arena, I for this whole week I've been trying to put up as good of the numbers I can and try to contest against you maybe, because I can see in the top 100 that you hold that lovely spot, that number one spot. But for now in Elite League 3, it looks like I'll be joining your league pretty soon too. I'm number one, and I've used literally I think over 1,200 like battle cards just to
Oh
hold my
wow.
position. Like all for the video as well.
Really?
Yeah. I think I might drop out of
That's
Invincible because I'll have no cards.
I think I've used, to get to 160,000. I've used like 120
Yeah,
tickets.
that's insane. Because you get like really
Yeah,
rewarded
but
highly. Do you like to flip your teams around and play with some like niche characters, or maybe some that are not getting enough love or whatever?
no. So the restricted arena is kind of where I mess around a little bit.
Hmm.
I don't really mess around so much in the regular arena,
Yeah, you gotta
just
hold the title.
because, yeah, it's pretty much, I'm trying to stay in that spot for, I don't know. I don't really need the rewards, the
Hmm.
thing. But I don't know. I guess I like to see my name up there.
For 100%, I would be
But
doing the same.
yeah, the restricted arena, I'll mess around sometimes, but you got to be careful too, because like if somebody beats me, I think they get well, if I beat Dank right now, I get 2.34K points.
Hmm.
So he's got to be getting like 2.5, I'm guessing, if he beats me,
Yeah,
if not
maybe.
more.
Could be more.
So Yeah, if I mess around too much, everybody will jump me real quick,
Yeah,
and then I'll
that's
get
the
kicked
thing.
out of the. Yeah, So I do sometimes I'll go on there, or if like I see somebody who I don't want to leave the Invincible League, I'll put like Darkwing 2 up there and I'll attack them
Yeah.
and lose on purpose so they get some points.
Mate,
You know?
that's nice. I
Yeah.
would not be doing that in my level. I'm scared that I'm gonna get ganged up by everyone here because my team is feels pretty weak right now.
Well, when I was moving up in the ranks, there was certain people that would just destroy me. I felt like they were attacking me every like 3 seconds. I'm like, how
Yeah.
is this possible? Like I just had like 10,000 points and now I'm at zero. Like, looking at then you you open up the battle log and you're like, oh, this guy
Yeah, that's just
must
straight up
have a
bullying at
video of
that
me.
point.
Yeah, like I did something to offend his family or something. He's got it on video because he's attacking the shit out of me.
Damn,
But
bro.
as I moved up, those people kind of you would see them. They would like attack you and lose. And like the
Mm.
first time I beat Orange Flesh was crazy
Wasn't he like a top tier
because
guy as well?
he was at the top for so long.
Yeah, I remember that
And I
name.
remember, yeah, I beat him once, and I remember I screenshot, I sent it to the Alliance. I was like, "Oh, look at this, guys!" And then he hit me at least 50 times,
Oh wow. Yeah, you
and I
hit a
lost.
nerve.
I lost every one. Oh man,
Well, he had a
I'm like,
grudge.
I made a mess. Oh yeah, because he probably hadn't seen that he lost in a long time.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, just some random guy pops up, and like you move up, and you kind of don't forget that sometimes. Like there's certain people when I see their name, I'm like, oh, I gotta hit him just because he bullied me when I was small. I picked the wrong ones,
It,
but
it, it must be crazy
I
as
don't know.
well to just select any hero you want in your roster, even if it may be like what people think is the worst person in the game, like War Woman, because you've got yours up to
Yeah,
like past 2,200, and she would still decimate everyone. Should be amazing.
she's actually not bad. A lot of these, even Green Ghost, like I thought she was gonna be terrible,
I was a big
and
fan of Green Ghost.
yeah, I mean they have their uses somewhere in the game, all of them,
Yeah,
you know. And then somebody's going to find a strategy at some point where everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you need the original Guardians for this."
yeah, it
And
surprised
that's
me.
that's the fun part. Like who would have thought that you were going to build up, the Maulers or Powerplex?
Exactly, and that's a good point as well,
Yeah,
because
and
it can be really helpful with all your GDAs and whatnot, or even in
well, I like the
PvE.
case files. Case files force you to,
Yeah.
if you want to build up Seance Dog, it forces you to build these characters that nobody else wants.
Mm.
And then you kind of get to see them.
Well, keeping time in mind and speaking of all that, what would you say your day-to-day playtime is like compared to, someone maybe like me who's like all free to play or like a standard player?
Oh, it's that's hard to say. I think I had my report up, and I think it said I was on my phone for 10 hours a day.
Oh, damn.
But I want to say, yeah, but I use this phone for work and stuff
Yeah,
too.
that's fair
But
enough.
I I want to say last week I had like 40 hours in the game.
I think for last week I might be up there with you too, to be honest, just to stay in that position for
Yeah.
the league. That's really what takes
But
up all the time.
also, yeah, like I'll have it open just sitting there sometimes.
Hmm.
Especially on those like 5-minute events. I just keep the event tab open and then just hit claim right when it pops up.
Yeah.
Because there's some of these, like the events, I'll have like 100 tickets. I'm like, okay, I got to burn through these now.
Yeah, that would take a lot of time.
It does. And sometimes I'll do it while I'm driving. I'll just have it sitting on my lap and claim. It's probably not safe. But
Yeah,
I'm
it
like
isn't
three.
safe, mate. I would put that on like a little,
Uh,
phone holder.
I've only hit like 3 kids, so it should be all right.
Yeah, that'd
You
be
know.
fine.
Yeah, not
I
too
hear that
bad.
actually gives you points off your license. They reward you.
Oh yeah. Oh, maybe in Texas. I
They should do that in the UK.
don't
If you
know.
if you can hit someone on a buggy or a scooter or a bike, that should be a reward.
Yeah.
Free pint.
Oh yeah. I guess we hate them everywhere.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Those
And then
bike guys.
speaking of like your positivity as well, because like before we got on here, I wasn't sure how you're gonna be, but you're really nice. You're very generous, especially using your dark wing to let people even climb the league when you don't want them to drop out. I've never heard anyone do that before. What would you tell a brand new player with like no money to spend, alongside the rest of the people who are gonna be watching this and the other players who are in admiration of you? Do you have any other messages or anything else you want to let them know, or this is your free speech platform right now. You can say anything you want.
Oh, well, the biggest thing that I think people get fixated on is that they want to level up and be like this big player so fast. you know, and it's not a race. And I tell people all the time, all these platforms, like I'll post something and they're like, "Oh, this is what mine looks like. He's not great." And I'm like, "That is great," you know? Like it's too hard to compare. Like people do it in life too. I'm not doing well unless I'm like this person, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're happy and you're having fun, then you're right where you need to be, you know, and you should just enjoy it at that point. Like everybody's pushing so hard to be like, oh, I got to be the best, or I got to have the strongest, or you know, I think as long as we're having fun, then that's what this is about, you know. If it's making you miserable and you're upset all the time, it's not worth having in your life, you know.
100%.
And I don't, I just it kind of it makes me sad sometimes when I get online and you see people like talking down about their stuff. They're like, "Oh, I really like this character, but he's not meta." You're like, "Okay, then build him, you know, if you like him."
Yeah.
You know, that's why I got respect for Dow, Destroyer of Will, building up a battle beast up, you know, ridiculous numbers. Why? Because he likes him.
Exactly.
You know, that's the most respectable thing to me. You know, everybody will sit there and run their mouth about Battle Beast. You're like, okay. He's like, well, I like him, so okay.
Exactly.
You know, and he's having fun doing it. He said, "It's to me, that's what this is about. It's not about like, oh, okay, I have the highest score on this or all of that, because that's just it's gonna frustrate you, you know."
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, you know, it's okay to not spend money. You know, I would say do not be like me. You know, be smart people. I'm not. You know, I never thought that I would spend money like this on a mobile game. You know, but to be honest, like it's to me like this game is relaxing. Like this is how I get away from the chaos of work and people and you know.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of needs an outlet, whether it is something like this or I mean, otherwise we're just gonna run around like cavemen,
Yeah,
you know,
we
hitting
don't
each
want
other
that,
with
man.
yeah, you know, not at all. But I guess that would be my advice, you know, just have fun with it and take it easy.
Nice. That's pretty solid advice all round. Covered all corners.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said, if I could be of service in any way, just let me know.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate it all.
All right. Oh yeah, of course.
So that was the full insight into a free-to-play account versus the biggest spender and #1 player in the whole game, EdwardKratos. You can see our progression is definitely a large gap, and that if you were to spend over 6 figures, that it's possible that you could put up a challenge against Edward too. Now, I may never reach his level in terms of bulk on his roster, but I am definitely working towards having the best free-to-play account in the entire game. And since closing in on the Invincible League, that has just brought me one step closer to that ultimate goal. With all that in mind, I want to give a huge thanks to EdwardKratos for hopping on the channel with me. This has been my favourite video I've ever worked on. Let me know in the comments how much you've spent, or are you joining me in my journey of staying free to play? Don't forget to show your appreciation for the #1 player EdwardKratos, joining us on the channel today by leaving a like, subscribing, and stay tuned for the highest quality content on Invincible guarding the globe. I'll see yous in a bit.